Hey, all right. So we are live. So Martin Truex wins one in dominant fashion. Let's see. Just kind of getting going. So I don't know how this shook off the playoffs. But we can look at the playoff cut line here. And right now, the cut line is pretty interesting. 97 to the good is Chris Buescher in 14th. So I feel like he's pretty safe. But then you get down here to Bubba Wallace, Michael McDowell, Daniel Suarez, AJ Allmendinger, all within 20 points of each other. And then Ty Gibbs and Alex Bowman, who didn't have great races, are still only at minus 41 and minus 42. So the playoff cut line is getting fairly interesting. If you want the full playoff standings, that would, of course, be William Byron in first. Martin Truex Jr. puts himself in second. Kyle Busch is in third. 1 point difference between Truex and Kyle Busch as far as playoff points go. Kyle Larson, Ross Chastain, Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, Tyler Reddick, Christopher Bell, Joey Logano, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. locked into the playoffs. Then Kevin Harvick at plus 137, Brad Keselowski at plus 108, Chris Buescher at plus 97, as previously mentioned. And then the cutoff, of course, being Bubba Wallace, Michael McDowell, last two in, plus 2 points for Bubba Wallace, plus 1 point for Michael McDowell, minus 1 for Suarez, minus 20 for Allmendinger, 41 for Ty Gibbs, and 42 for Alex Bowman. So let's see. There is the merch store. There, the poll is up. If you want to vote on the poll, would you bite the lobster like Martin Truex did when he won the race? He obviously bit the lobster. That was fairly new. I'm just glad that they got somebody that won the race that wasn't afraid to hold the lobster. Let's see. Looks like the chat's working on my end. I'm not seeing if the chat is working on you guys' end. It looks like it's working on my end. I don't know. I can't see any of you guys chatting in. There we go. There we go. Starting to work now. Robin Marks, what's up, man? What's up, Canada? OJ and Toothpaste, I thought Larson could have caught him if it stayed green before Noah blew that rotor. Yeah, so the cautions at the end were sort of a big deal, too. Truex had the best car by far, but it looked like on various runs, either Ryan Blaney or Joey Logano, maybe on the long run, might have had something for him. But yeah, would have been interesting without the cautions. The cautions, of course, made it interesting too. But at the end of the day, I think the guy with the fastest car won. I think Truex put it on him. And I think it was pretty much academic 50-50 on would you bite the lobster in victory lane. So that's pretty interesting. I think in that moment, I think I would too, because like you just won a race, you're feeling good, no pain at all. Let's see. What's up, Ian Fisher? What's up, man? Ian Fisher saying, woohoo, Truex, baby. So, yeah, I think it's a pretty popular win. I think a lot of Truex fans out there, they called him a New Englander. I don't know if New Jersey's part of New England, but I guess he's a New Englander. But there were a lot of New Englanders in there. New Englander definitely finished second in Joey Logano. Let's see who won on Earth 2 today. Didn't see the finish. That's a good question. I need to go to the results here to pull that one up. I think it was Kyle Busch, though. Yeah, Kyle Busch, a very rare win on Earth 2. That might be his first ever win on Earth 2. Cole Custer was second on Earth 2. Eric Almirola third on Earth 2. Right after Darian tweeted that Eric Almirola is only good at New Hampshire, they had the wheel come off. Literally, the wheels came off. NASCAR and Transformers fan says working for me. I'll say, all right. So the chat is working. It just I guess had a little bit of a lag here. Hey player, Logano got second. It's hard to believe. He always waits to turn on the switch. Yeah, he looked like he had a really good car. I think if there was a longer run and if he had had track position earlier, he might have could have at least made Martin Truex Jr. Nervous. I'll say that. I don't know if he had the car to beat him, but he definitely him and Ryan Blaney had the cars to make him nervous out of basically anybody else in the field. I feel like Christopher Bell had a good car too, but for whatever reason, he got mired back in traffic, and he just he never could recover from that. So weird situation for C. Bell. I don't even know where he ended up finishing. Where did Christopher Bell end up finishing? Christopher Bell ends up finishing 29th with probably one of the best cars in the field. So you got to think that was a bad day for him, no doubt about it. Let's see. Eric Almirola, bad day for him. That was he definitely had a good car too. Let's see. Ty Gibbs got used up right there at the very end by a couple drivers. Looked like I think it was the 47 that got into Blaney Stenhouse, maybe. So he got into Blaney, and Blaney got into the 54. And that was like at least once or twice that I saw the 54 hit the wall. Say, Kyle, at work, can't hang. Just stopping by to hit the like button and remind everyone I called the 19 for the win. Yeah, so the two I had picked for the win, I said flip a coin, either Truex or Brad Keselowski. They both ran good, so I felt good about that. I didn't jinx either one of them. Rodney says he didn't. Truex had it covered. So the 22, I didn't look at lap time, so I thought the 22 and the 12 might have been the only ones. But yeah, it looks like Truex had them covered today. Probably was just toying with them at times. Robin Marks, glad Truex won. He's close enough to being a Canadian since he's a Northern boy. What was up with those with the pit chaos, lug nuts, running over hoses? I thought Austin Dillon was doomed, but a top 10. Yeah, so that was Austin Dillon on old tires. Like he pulled out that top 10. That was fairly impressive because we saw with old tires that guys were getting passed left and right. So the fact that he was able to hold on with old tires in a car that probably wasn't even all that great, especially according to his teammate, like Kyle Busch's car was evil loose, and why he finished last because he smoked the wall. But yeah. Super big win for Truex. That's his third win on the season, and it's looking like sort of 2017 Martin Truex Jr. So puts him easily in the championship chase as a favorite for the championship chase, I should say. So let's see, OJ and Toothpaste. What happened to Cole Custer? I thought he had a shot to win today and could give the 19 some hell. He smoked the wall at one point, so that's actually what happened to him. But yeah. I don't know why he hit the wall, but he did. Let's see. Matt Hunter, Priest was a total non-factor. Extremely surprised. Me too. I thought he would be one of the favorites. Impressed with Eric Jones. Eric Jones is another one. Rallied from 11th from a spin earlier. I didn't know this was Truex's first Loudon win. Yeah, he had won in I think like Busch East or something like that. And I went back when the Busch Series was had the Busch Series North and East or whatever. I don't know how it was broken up back then, but I remember there were different ones. But he had a couple of wins over there in that. I don't know if he won in the regular Busch Series ever, but yeah, this was definitely his first win, and it seems kind of weird, but it was his first win, and his first ability to bite the lobster claw. So that was I thought that was a pretty cool celebration myself. Let's see, 59% agreeing with me. 59% said yes, they would bite the lobster claw if they won in victory lane. NASCAR and Transformers fan says, how many laps did Truex lead? Oh, that's a good question. Do they have it listed here? Do they have it listed? He led 254 laps, and the next closest person, oh, wow. If this was a bet, if you were going to bet on who led the second most laps in this race, would you lose money if I said it was Austin Dillon? Austin Dillon led the second most amount of laps in this race with 12. Let me recheck that again because that's wow. Are you serious right now? Austin Dillon with 12 laps led. Martin Truex Jr. led at 254, but the second most led laps was 12 with Austin Dillon. Wow. I would have lost a lot of money if that was if somebody asked me who led the second most laps, was it Austin Dillon? I would have said heck no. But it's one of those weird but true facts. But yeah. Truex won't retire. He's peaking now. He's been good all year. I hope he doesn't retire. He's like, I hate to see a guy retire when they're still going so good. 42's issues could have been real bad. He was on the inside. Oh, yeah, if he was on the inside for sure, Duke Chronic. And once again, another bad day for Legacy Motor Club on the 42. That 42 is just, he's even more snake bit than the 43. The 43 did recover to get 11th place, so it wasn't a total loss for him, but once again, they had to fix another race car to get it ready for the next race. So another DNF for one of their cars there. Martin Truex Jr. definitely not retiring. Dude's top level again. I agree with you, Bumblebee. Good to see you on here as always. Josh Strickland, what happened between the 41 and the 34? Denny sucks. I don't know. I just saw him talking after the race. I didn't really see what happened, but they seem to have worked it out. Like they patted each other on the backs and stuff like that. So I guess it was a non-issue, but I didn't see actually on the racetrack what happened. Shout out to NBC because although Martin Truex Jr. dominated this race, NBC did what I've been wanting Fox to do all season, and they showed all the battles in the back of the pack. Remember when I was at Martinsville and I was like, everybody on TV saying this race is boring, but live there were plenty of battles on the racetrack to look at, and Fox apparently wasn't showing them. This is what I wish Fox would do. Yes, Martin Truex dominated this race, but NBC showed all of the battles around the racetrack and what was going on. So they made this race a lot more watchable than just focusing on who's in the lead. Dylan also led some laps. I was about to give up on him. So good on him. His partner in crime is lucky he won this year. Otherwise, he'd be in a tough spot, says Robin Marks. Yeah, but he's got he's got 3 wins, so he's third in points as far as playoff points go. So he's going to be in good shape. That 8 car fast all season, but not fast today. That's for sure. What we had today was a good old fashioned stone cold stunnering from Martin Truex Jr. Yeah, he opened up a can of whoop ass on him tonight, or this afternoon, I should say. I hope they get to eat the lobster, says JFB. Yeah, that is a massive lobster. So that is definitely going to be a really good meal. Pair it. I don't even know if you need to pair it with a steak. It's so much lobster there, but lobster and steak, get a little surf and turf going. That would be pretty tasty. And looks like you'll have enough to feed whoever, probably the whole crew, whoever wants to hang out. Amen about showing the field, says Josh Strickland. Yeah, 100%. Like NBC did a great job. So props to them for making a blowout. More or less a blowout watchable, but there was definitely good action. The track raced better, and this is what I say about New Hampshire. There's always going to be one guy that hits the setup, but the track was racing so good that there was racing throughout the field, and I'm glad that they made the call. So they called it last week, Toyota and Martin or Denny. Says one wise guy. Yeah, I agree with you. The only thing I said was it's definitely not going to be a Chevrolet. There were 2 Fords right there at the very end that were very fast as well. But yeah, definitely a Toyota track. Richmond next week, also going to be a Toyota track as well. Ian Fisher Gregson will need a confidence coach after this season. I hope he kicks into gear with the Toyota changeover. I think when he gets faster cars, just going to be a rough season for Noah. They don't have the factory support. He's definitely the second car at that organization. And it just has not been a good season for him. John Ray says hit. I've been thinking about it for weeks. I don't think Elliott will get in the playoffs. I was a Bill Elliott fan, but I was already a Kurt Busch fan and didn't jump bandwagons. I think he's toast maybe. He's going to need a win. So I'm not going to say he's toast, but there was a way for him to point his way in. That ended today. He is going to need to get a win at this point, probably, to get in. Especially with the cut line being what the cut line is. Like I said, 2 points. It is Chris Buescher is probably safe with 97 points here, but Bubba Wallace at +2 and 15th. Michael McDowell at +1 and 16th, and then Suarez -1, -20, -41, and -42 for Ty Gibbs and Alex Bowman. But anybody below that is going to need a win. And probably Ty Gibbs and Alex Bowman, if they have a bad week next week, they're going to be in win and get in situations too. But if they could win a couple stages or get some stage points and decrease those 41 and 42, there's still a way for them to point their way in. But everybody below them is definitely going to be in trouble. Did Blaney's Jackman drop the car too soon, or did he leave too soon? I don't know, but the right front tire changer, for whatever reason, didn't get around the car. So when he ran over the hose, and bad luck for Blaney too. Like he got a decent finish, but he probably had a top 3 car, and unfortunately that penalty shot him in the foot. Typical Ryan Blaney luck, right? So yeah, I don't know if the Jackman dropped it too soon, or if they told him to leave too soon, or what happened. But definitely the right front tire changer didn't get out of the way in time. And he ran over the hose, and that is the penalty. Robin Marks, I love lobster. If you can get some lobster, crayfish taste, just the same, so good. But you got a lot more work with crayfish. You got to eat a lot more crayfish compared to get your the same amount of protein from the lobster there. Odds on Pocono, I don't know. I don't know if where's BetMGM here. I don't know if BetMGM has Pocono up yet. Let's see here. Yeah, BetMGM hasn't. They haven't put up the Pocono stuff yet. They just championship. But Martin Truex Jr. does move to according to BetMGM. He's +500. He is the highest ranked of your championship bets there. +600 for Larson, +600 for Byron, 700 for Hamlin, 800 for Christopher Bell, and 900 for Kyle Busch. So there you go. Those are your championship favorites according to BetMGM. Martin Mondays is a regular thing. Yes, somebody over there at JGR needs to print a Martin Mondays T-shirt, or they're slacking on a job there. Cannot believe the luck of Blaney and Eric Almirola have. Yeah, same here. Like Eric Almirola also had a really good car, probably had at least a top 10 car. I would say probably a top 5 car. And then they don't put the lug nut on. That thing comes off him a really, really, really good finish. And one he really needed. Lots of pit bad luck. Harvick had a problem too. Yeah, at one point Harvick did have a problem. I can't remember exactly what it was. And I think Austin Dillon was speeding. Austin Dillon and Corey LaJoie got caught speeding on the first pit stop. So Austin Dillon with his finish, even the good finish he had, he still had to overcome a pit penalty. Austin Dillon ends up finishing ninth there. Overcame a pit penalty there as well, and Kevin Harvick was fourth with his pit penalty. Where did Blaney end up here at the end of it though? Oh man, Ryan Blaney, where Blaney? Ryan Blaney ends up 22nd. Oh yeah, that's right, because he got hit at the very end. Stenhouse moved him at the very end. The 47 moved him at the very end. Blaney is due for a win, pulling for the kid. He's a great driver. Just a lot of I don't know if it's bad luck or misfortune, whatever you want to call it. He's had a whole lot of luck, but none of it's been good. Truex looks strong. How does this track compare to Phoenix? So that we were talking about that the other day. Good question, Tim Race. We were talking about that yesterday on the live stream. And although people say this track compares to Phoenix and all that, Toyota always runs good at this track. But then when you go to Phoenix, for whatever reason, Toyota doesn't. They're not the most dominant car at Phoenix like they are at New Hampshire. So everybody says this track translates the most. I do wonder though, how much does it really translate if Toyota is not as dominant at Phoenix as they are here? So I don't know. Was the 42 a lug nut or a rotor? The 42 looked like a lug nut. It was good eyes by Rick Allen there when he saw the lug nut coming off of the 42. And good point by Steve Letarte when he said it doesn't matter if you hit the wall. If the lug nut's on, the lug nut's on, and it's not coming off. So it was definitely a loose lug nut on the 42 that caused whatever that issue was. And most likely, when the lug nut got loose, it probably cut the inside of the rim. From the brake heat and the brake touching it and being so hot, it probably cut the inside of the rim and the tire probably came loose that way. And eventually the lug nut came off when he hit the wall. Let's see. Napa Racing fan Truex bit the lobster. I missed it because my signal went out. Yeah, he bit the claw. He was holding up the lobster like this, took the claw down and bit on it. So apparently that's going to be. We'll see if the new tradition that he just started right there carries over. What about Ty? And it might not be a new tradition, but it's the first time I'd seen it. What about Ty Dillon's bet MGM to win the championship? Oh God, I wonder if that's even on there. Where did I put bet MGM? Go down there. Move, mouse, move. Let's see. Yeah, not even listed. Ty Dillon. Oh, there it is. Yep, he is listed. Ty Dillon. Plus 100,000. Plus 100,000. He's in the same boat with Harrison Burton and Noah Gragson. So Noah Gragson, Harrison Burton, and Ty Dillon getting maximum respect for their championship efforts. Plus 75,000. Corey LaJoie, Todd Gilliland, and Justin Haley. Ryan Preece plus 50,000. Eric Jones plus 35,000. 30,000 for Almirola, Dillon, Cindric, and Briscoe. Michael McDowell plus 25,000. Ricky Stenhouse, 15,000. Chris Buescher, 10,000, 10,000, 10,000 for Suarez and Bubba Wallace, plus 8,000 for Ty Gibbs. And Alex Bowman at plus 6,000. Keselowski's plus 35,000. Reddick, 1,800, 1,600 for Chase Elliott. Kevin Harvick is plus 1,400, plus 1,200 for Joey Logano, plus 1,200 for Blaney, plus 900 for KFB. And Christopher Bell plus 800, 700 for Hamlin, 600 for Byron, 600 for Kyle Larson, and plus 500 for MTJR. So there we go. Loudon and Dover are way more similar than Loudon and Phoenix, in my opinion, says Bumblebee. It could be. Let's see. I was surprised they ran Joe Graff Jr. Saturday for JGR instead of Ryan Truex. His brother obviously could have coached him well. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure that was a money talks situation. Nothing like Phoenix, other than the fact that it's a 1 mile track, says Napa Racing fan. I mean, that's true. And they always, I don't know, for whatever reason, they always say that if you run good at New Hampshire, you'll run good at Phoenix. That might be true, but you I don't know. It doesn't necessarily translate for a win. Okay, what's up, BB? After this race, I'm interested to hear your championship four and who makes the playoffs. I mean, championship four is for me is pretty straightforward at this point. I got Kyle Busch, I got Martin Truex Jr., I got William Byron, and then just whoever you want to throw in there. Obviously, I'm going to throw Larson in there, but it could be sort of whoever you want it to be. Just take a look at your points, however you want to look at them. Other names you can throw in there, of course, would be Ross Chastain, Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, or Tyler Reddick, and Christopher Bell and Joey Logano. But I think of those 10, who I think right now I like as a final four, which it's actually how the points stack up right now. But it's William Byron, Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, and Kyle Larson. That's who I've got in my top four, and I wasn't even looking at the points when I said that. But that's actually the top. Who I think is going to be the final four from what I've seen so far this season. I think it's actually lining up pretty good. Let's see. I was in the garage and on pit road Saturday, heartbroken that I had to work today, says Stu Putty. Oh man, I hate that for you, man. That's the worst, dude. I hate it when you get a ticket and it's a really good ticket. And I think you told me that this was your first time on the infield, so I really hate that for you, man. Who's on the cutoff line, says one wise guy. So the cutoff line is really close right now between Bubba Wallace is 14th at +2. Michael McDowell is +1 in 16th. Daniel Suarez at -1 is in 17th, first man out. AJ Allmendinger, second man out, is -20. And then Ty Gibbs at -41 and Alex Bowman at -42. That's your cutoff line, and it's heating up. And then above Bubba Wallace is Chris Buescher at +97. And everybody above him is +100. So I'm thinking they're pretty safe as far as point goes, unless we get a string of new winners. Those guys are all pretty safe. Is Watkins Glen a bust for Chase Elliott this year to make the playoffs? I think it is. It could be. It could be. I'm not going to give up on Chase just yet. I think he's got plenty of ability to win. So I think there's still a good chance he can make the playoffs, but it's definitely at this point going to be a win. To get in situation. Good point, Napa, says Timber Race. Yeah, so it definitely that's got to be one of his favorite tracks, right? So you have to put some emphasis on that if you're Hendrick Motorsports. I have a buddy in Collinsville, Sebastian, says one wise guy. Sebastian, I live about 5 minutes from Worldwide Technology Gateway, and I would think it would translate more to Phoenix. That's probably a good point, Sebastian. Then New Hampshire. I mean, Logano won Darlington and Worldwide Technology similar, and went on to win at Phoenix. Yeah, I think you're on the money there, Sebastian. As far as configuration and layout, Worldwide Technology probably lines up better with a Phoenix style. None of them are going to line up perfectly, but I think it probably lines up better than New Hampshire would. So I think you're pretty on the money with that. Martin wins the championship this year, says one wise guy. That's not a bad pick. Like I said, I just got him in my final four here. I've had the 8, the 12, the 19, and the 24 as my four for a while now, says Napa Racing Fan. Yeah, Ryan Blaney's had a good season, sans the bad luck. So when he finishes races, he finishes them well. So I like that pick. Obviously, Truex and Kyle Busch, good picks there. And then Fast Willie B, you can't sleep on him. He's had the best season by far. I got the 5, the 8, the 19, and the 24 going to Phoenix as of now. I like all those picks. Definitely like Larson. Definitely like the other Kyle. KFB, Truex, definitely a good pick. And yeah, for sure, the 24 car. Like I said, I think he's having the best season. A lot of people are going to skew toward Martin Truex because he's the most current winner, but I think by far William Byron's had the best season this year, especially given he's leading the regular season points probably. I haven't looked at him, but he was leading the regular season points even with the penalty points that they took away from him. Joshua Jenkins, what's up, BB, and everyone on the regular season races winding down. I think Elliott is going to have to win now to make the playoffs. What are your thoughts? I think you're right there, Josh. I think at this point, unless something catastrophic happens to Bubba Wallace, Michael McDowell, and Daniel Suarez, like they all wreck at the same time, I don't really see a way for him to point his way in other than something like that happening. So I think it's going to have to be a win and get in situation. I agree with you. You should make a playoff bubble poll for who makes it. Yes, we can do that. So ending this poll right here. And it looks like 63% said that they would bite the lobster if they won the race. So I like it. I like y'all's style. Let's see. All right, I got Bubba Wallace, Michael McDowell, Daniel Suarez. Do y'all want me to put AJ Allmendinger in there, or do you want me to put like Chase Elliott or Alex Bowman? So I don't know. I'm just gonna put all three in there. That makes life easy. There we go. And who's not? I'm leaving out Gibbs too, so let me put Gibbs in there. There we go. Not the most balanced poll of all time, but there we go. Let's see. All right. Lost my spot here. Daytona shaping up to be demolition as usual, says Jay Campbell. Yeah, I think so too, and that's 100% why NASCAR put it in there like that. Truex has been impressing me more and more each week. I think he wins the championship. Still cheering for Ross, but he's been consistent as fast for sure. He's a legend, and he keeps getting. He's like a fine wine, keeps getting better with age. You should make a playoff. Okay, so I've not caught up. Campbell nailed it. Says Timber Race. Yeah, I think he was on the money with that one for sure. Let's see. Joshua Jenkins, the 5, the 19, the 24, and the 11 are my championship 4. I like the Denny Hamlin pick. Denny Hamlin's been pretty strong all season. He's been sort of in the Ryan Blaney deal with when he has bad luck. Or when he finishes good, but he's had some bad luck. Martin Monday wins again. Pocono gets rained out on Sunday. I bet on Martin to win on Monday. Says Napa Race Fan. The 12 car was fast. Says 1,000 horsepower. The 12 car was definitely fast. Once again, unfortunately for young Ryan Blaney, he had some bad luck. Gonna make him an old man quick with all this bad luck. He's not gonna be YRB long. Napa Racing Fan, if that happens, Truex would complete a 2023 Monday track sweep of his home tracks, Dover, New Hampshire, and Pocono. That's pretty. That's next level. What is it? Back in the day, was it ESPN Next Level Stats? So that's there you go. Good stat there, Napa Racing Fan. Next level stats. So he can pull it off. If a lot of things have to happen, but if it rains and he pulls it off on a Monday, pointed after taking his last win on Monday, says Tim Brace for sure. I agree. It could have been the Ryan Blaney narrative if he got up there and got the win. Hit the like button, please. Oh yes, if y'all want to hit the like button, it would be much appreciated. But don't feel pressure. Truex Jr. has more guts than Hamlin. Denny won, held it up, and looked away from it. Same way last. Yeah. So I did say in the not the comments, but I was having a chat with somebody. And I said, I'm just glad somebody won the race that won't look like a huge sissy when they're holding the lobster, because the last few winners, being Denny Hamlin and Christopher Bell, they looked very uncomfortable holding a lobster, and I'm just like, dude, it's a lobster. It's not. I don't get it. I don't get it. So it is what it is. I guess those guys have never been fishing in their entire life. I guess that's all I can say about that. Tim Brace laughing at Napa there. So I'm with you there, Napa. Robert Stone had to work today, still at work. I tried to listen to the race and listen to the race on the radio, caught about none of it. Oh well, says Robert Stone. I remember those days, man. Dude, back in the factory, you couldn't hear anything, so I had to pull it up on my phone, and there was no reception in the factory. You had to go either to the lounge or to one of the bathrooms to get reception. So you either had to watch it in the bathroom or watch it in the lounge during breaks. So, and yeah, you didn't get to see much of it because typically whenever I got a chance to watch it, they were under caution. You know, cautions take like 10 minutes and then your break's over with. So it is what it is. Bowman, Elliott, Allmendinger, Harvick, and 4 non-winners. I could see winning, says Bumble, or was that commercial? I'll throw that in there too. What are your thoughts on SVG coming to NASCAR? I like SVG coming to NASCAR. I like Bowman, Elliott, Allmendinger, and Harvick, 4 non-winners. I could see winning. Yeah, I think you're on there. I definitely could see Bowman winning. Nobody ever talks about it, but Alex Bowman is a really good race car driver. He could definitely win a race just as easily as Chase Elliott because they're both in really good equipment, especially because Jeff Gordon just came out and said that the focus will now be on the 9 and the 48 to get them into the playoffs. So they're going to have the best stuff of the Hendrick equipment. Then Allmendinger for sure. You can never count out AJ Allmendinger, especially with Watkins Glen coming up. And Kevin Harvick, there's not a single racetrack that Kevin Harvick is bad at. So I think you're on the money there, Bumblebee. Matt Hunter, never saw New Hampshire similar to Phoenix or Gateway. It's just basically a giant Martinsville. I agree with that. See, that's what it always reminds me of too, Matt Hunter. So I'm with you on that. Tight, flat corners, long straights. To me, it's just a different version of Martinsville. That's how I've always looked at it too. Team Penske fan, I'd be so upset again if Blaney can't make it in the championship 4. It has to happen so Blaney doesn't start having a curse, says Team Penske fan. I don't think he's cursed. He just had a string of bad luck. He did win this year. He didn't win last year, so the odds are that he's got a better chance this year than he did last year to get into the Final Four. Legacy would have to switch to Toyota early, or would love to see Legacy would love to switch to Toyota early, or just quit. Says MB. So yeah, they're probably not in love with their situation they're in. But that being said, Eric Jones is still getting good finishes without factory support. So there is something to look at. Good finishes here and there. Like I said, it's going to be sporadic. Can JGR save the sponsorship money and keep Martin Truex Jr.? I think Martin Truex Jr., as far as sponsor money goes, prints sponsor money at this point. So I think he's good with the sponsor money. I think all the sponsors that are with him are going to stay with him for the end of his career. So yeah, I think he's good, Mark Langren, and appreciate you. Thumbs up to you as well, Mark. Napa says, do you consider a short track? What do you consider a short track? NBC was pushing for New Hampshire as a short track. Dale Jr.'s definition is a short track is under a mile. I agree with him. To me, and this is just me, a short track is under a half mile. So I would be even more picky about it. But I guess as far as the Cup Series goes, yeah, you could go under a mile. That seems more fair. Sebastian says, BB, do you think with the current issue with NASCAR games minus iRacing as a sim is a big reason why the viewership is still on the older side? Oh, that has a lot to do with it. Yeah, 100%, Sebastian. 100% has a lot to do with it. They haven't had a decent NASCAR game in so long, I can't even remember. So that definitely plays into it. If you look at part of the reason F1 is popular, the F1 video game by Codemasters, EA Sports, whatever you want to call them, is another thing. Everybody talks about Drive to Survive, but the F1 video game, even my friends that don't even like F1, they're like, that video game is sick. So that has a lot to do with it too. Now we've got iRacing, but iRacing is a simulator. It's not a fun video game. NASCAR needs a fun video game. Can you imagine the frustration if Elliott misses the playoffs and Hamlin wins the championship? Oh God, that would be next level for sure. Brian Hinton, I have the and I didn't mean to say that as discouragement to Denny Hamlin fans. I was just like, oh man, the blowback from that would be a comment section I didn't want to read. I have the 19, the 8, the 20, the 24 for my pick. Says Brian Hinton. I like that. I like all your picks there. I think they're very solid. I like that Christopher Bell pick. I think that's a super good pick. He had a bad day today, but he's typically been good all season. Did Bowman re-sign yet? Says one wise guy. Yeah, I think he's re-signed either before the season or partway through this season. So he signed for multiple years though. So he should be there for at least 2 or 3 more years. Bowen signed a 3-year extension with HMS in February at Daytona. So right as the season started, he signed that 3-year extension. Nathan Campbell, appreciate you, Napa fan. Nathan Campbell, what's up, man? Good to see you on here. Ian Fisher, anyone catch Tony Kanaan call Denny Hamling multiple times during SRX? Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. He's there's an accent there, so that's it's all good. Martin, that's the least bad thing people have called Denny Hamlin at times. Mark Langren says, one wise guy. Even everyone can have a bad year for sure. And Chase Elliott's a good race car driver, but it is what it is. Even really good race car drivers have bad seasons. How many pounds did that lobster weigh? I don't know. It was definitely a monster, though. I'm with you, Jay Campbell. They said 22 pounds on TV. Napa Racing fan on the money here. So 22 pounds for the lobster there. That's crazy, man. That's definitely enough to feed the whole team, I would say. Let's see. I saw no issues with Marty Kisses, though. Says MV, talking about the biting the lobster there. So there you go. Marty Kisses. I like that. Is Ty Dillon running any races in the SRX this year? I don't know. I don't think he's on the schedule. Austin Dillon is, though. I think his brother took his spot. Like, he graciously gave his brother his spot there. 22 pounds, holy smokes, says Jay Campbell. That will feed the crew. Yeah, for sure. I think Elliott is already feeling the pressure of not being secured in the playoffs. His interviews are front. Yeah, I agree with that. And kind of Daisy, like in my opinion, says Joshua Jenkins. Yeah, I think he's just having a really frustrating season, and hopefully he can just stay positive and keep the momentum going positively. I can see SVG in the 77 next year. That would be, especially if Andretti Autosport buys it. that would definitely be a significant, or buys into it or whatever. That would definitely be a significant landing spot, and I think that would be big momentum for that team. Him and Corey LaJoy, man, that would be a pretty good combo. I have a question for MB says, I have a question for BB. Who do you like racing against? Who do I like racing against? I don't know. I haven't raced against anybody in the Cup Series yet, so I don't know. I like racing against anybody who's behind me, I guess. Let's see. Chevy was off today. Larson was the only good Chevy. So I guess if I like fantasy world, if I had to race somebody for the last few laps, I'd want to race somebody like Martin Truex Jr., Mark Martin, somebody like that, because I know they're going to race me clean, and I would want to put on a good clean race. A la I guess Dream Fantasy World, you put on that Ricky Craven, Kurt Busch finish at Darlington that one time. So what was that, 2003, 2004, somewhere in there. So that in a perfect world, 2002 maybe, in a perfect world, that's the race you want to have. So somebody that races clean, I guess, would be the answer. Chevy was off today. Larson was the only good Chevy, says Escobar. Yeah, just not a Chevrolet track. Never been their deal. Did anyone notice in the SRX intro immediately after they announced Deegan's name, they said there's a spin? They did that on purpose, says one wise guy. Mark Langren, sorry, the large lobsters don't taste as good. Well, it's all good. That's what the butter's for. I was hoping Brad would win, but I'm happy for Martin, says Intake. Yeah, Brad definitely, he had a good car, but I think it was just a top 5 car today. But he definitely wheeled it and got a good finish with it. He had a good run with it. I don't know where he finished at. Where did he end up finishing? BK 5th. So there you go. Good top 5 run for him. And I think that's about the type of car he had today. At one point, he was right behind Joey Logano. So I think his maximum finish would have been 3rd or 4th. So I think he got everything he could get out of that car. Mark Langren, does Bikini still have a ride? As long as she's got 500,000 subscribers on YouTube and bringing in money, she will always have a ride. The biggest lobster, you've either got to be good at driving or you got to be good at the business side of it. Right now, she's good at the business side of it, and she's working on the driving side of it, I guess, is the positive way to look at that one. Jay Campbell, biggest lobster I've had was probably, she did finish, 5th in the SRX, so it's not a bad finish there. Much better in cars than trucks. We can say that for a fact at this point. Biggest lobster I've ever had was probably 4 pounds. And I don't think moving to Xfinity is going to fix her problem, but I think she will drive those cars better. Probably 4 pounds. I've heard the same amount. Same about the bigger ones. Not as tasty, says Jay Campbell. And going back to Haley Deegan, Haley Deegan's biggest issue is racing in traffic and restarts. If she can get her restarts and racing in traffic down, that'll significantly help her get better finishes. LaJoy and SVG with Andretti ownership would be gold, says MB. Yeah, that would be another Trackhouse type team if that happened. They would have just so much positive buzz behind them, and they would get a lot of sponsors, I think. Last Hendrick win at New Hampshire was with Casey Kane in July 2012. Last Chevy win at New Hampshire was with Kevin Harvick, Stuart Haas Racing in 2016. The year before they switched to Ford. So there you go. Chevrolet shut out since 2016, just not their track. What's up, Mr. Pearson? Cheers to you as well, sir. Suarez wins one, says Robin Marks. I could definitely see Suarez winning a race. No doubt about it. Trackhouse was good at road courses last year, so don't sleep on Suarez at Watkins Glen. Is Martin Truex Jr. Monday? It is Martin Truex Jr. Monday, Mr. Pearson. So cheers to you. Late to the party, says like dislike. That's all good. Glad you made it, brother. Let's see. Mark Langren. I came back from a service call in Manchester, flying first, and my carry-on was a dozen 1.5 pound lobsters. They got first class service, says Mark. So there you go. That's pretty awesome. 0.5 pound to 1.5 pounds are perfect for eating, says MB. They deserve first class. So there you go. Lobster Aficionado is the backup channel coming soon. But yeah, so apparently I didn't know that. Never thought about it really. But there you go. 0.5 pound to 1.5 pound. That's going to be your better tasting lobster. I didn't get to watch today. Had to work. Sweating so bad you would think I just got out of a pool. Says like dislike. I hate that for you, man. But make that money. I love seafood, but never have ate lobster. LOL. Says Joshua Jenkins. And before I forget, here we go. merch, buy the t-shirts and stickers and hats and stuff. If you want to buy them to help out the channel, there's the link to the merch store. I always forget to do this, so I randomly thought about it, and there you go. I love seafood, but never ate lobster. LOL, says Joshua Jenkins. It's pretty good. It's like as far as the flavor goes, it's fairly similar to like shrimp or crawdads, except it's much bigger. I don't think it's quite as sweet as crab meat, but it does have a sweetness to it. I need for Harvick to win before the end of the season. It would be so sad not to see him win. But imagine if he wins the last race, no matter if it's for the championship or not, says Team Penske fan. Yeah, I just want to see Kevin Harvick get a win. If he won the championship, that would be like next level. But I just want to see him get one more win before he goes out. MB, never try cooking lobster without the right size pot. Pure torture, especially when they get out half cooked. Angry MFers, says MB. Napa, so good strategy there. Or just get 2 vice grips and clamp down the lid and pressure cook it. Hint, hint. You can also make a liquid beverage that way that they make in the mountains. But that's for another day. Napa Racing fan, does Denny Hamlin get redemption at Pocono for being DQ'd with clear tape on the car last year? That's I don't know, man. That's a world of speculation. So I don't know. Anything can happen. I don't know. I don't know. It's different. It's definitely a Toyota track, but it's so hard just because the guy basically he technically won there last year. Even Chase Elliott said so. It's so hard. Even though you won last year, you see it all the time. Somebody goes back and then the next year they're just not as good. So it's so hard to say. But that is definitely a Denny Hamlin track as well. So I would say he's got above a 50-50 chance of winning there. But that being said, you just never know. Can Chase Elliott repeat technically? Can he get a real trophy this time? He'd be the best win. He'd be the best ever at Pocono with one more win, already tied with Gordon at 6. Says Napa Racing fan. Also, there you go. That would be really cool. I didn't know he had that many. Or Jeff Gordon had that few, but I remember every time they went to Pocono, it was like Jeff Gordon or Mark Martin. Like that's the 2 that you always pick. Grilled lobster tail, chef's kiss, says Jesse Jones for sure. That's my favorite parts of lobster tail as well. Used a pair of 10-gallon brewing pots, says Mark Langren. If Marty wins the championship, he retires. Oh, that would be pretty cool. Win the championship and walk off. If he doesn't, he comes back, says MB. That's fair. Win the championship and walk off would be a pretty cool move. I saw a news piece that the 23 driver may be gone at the end of the season, says Mark Langren. I haven't heard anything about that, so we'll have to see. They seem happy with him. He's bringing in a ton of sponsors, so we'll have to see what happens there. I hadn't heard that one, though. Bad luck for Almirola today. He had a top 5 car. Yeah, the lug nut for Almirola definitely hurt him for sure. Smoked lobster tail, says Mark Langren. I have not had smoked lobster tail, so I'll have to try that at some point. That decision to stay out and get no tires in the first stage after the competition, caution really hurt Stenhouse and JTG Doherty's day. Yeah, it was an odd call. I think they were expecting more people to stay out and try it, and just didn't work out for them. You either look like a 0 or a hero. Crew chief looked like a 0 there on that one. But I like the aggressiveness of it. I like thinking outside the box, going for it. Unfortunately, he was never able to recover the track position after that, though. I think McDowell is a sleeper to stay up. Besides Pocono, Ford is decent at Richmond and good at Michigan, and he is good at road courses and super speedways. I hope the contract isn't a big distraction, says Team Penske fan. Yeah, he said he expects to be back, so I think they'll get it done. Hopefully, they get it done earlier this year than they normally get it done. But yeah, Ford is definitely good at all those tracks for sure. And you never count out Michael McDowell. He's a good race car driver. If they hit the setup, he'll get it done, I think. Heard the same about the 23, says MB. So there you go. There's some report out there that I have not seen yet. So I'll have to scour the internet and find it. Give a shout out to that Jones boy and Dave Ellens. I got another. I just don't think he's going anywhere because look at all the sponsors he brings in. They're not going to get rid of somebody with a ton of sponsors like that. He's won races too. He's on the edge of getting in the playoffs. So if they do get rid of him, I'm not saying that the story is not accurate, but it would really surprise me if they got rid of him. Give a shout out to that Jones boy and Dave Ellens got another solid finish despite their situation. Mark Barnum says snoozer, yeah, for sure. Dave Ellens doing the best he can with what he's got to work with as far as equipment, and Eric Jones doing the thing for sure. So good finish for them. Sooner someone knocks out Bubba from the playoffs, the better. Says Mark Barnum. So Mark Barnum, not a Bubba Wallace fan. MB Logano looks to be warming up for another playoff run. Yeah, I think so too. Mark Langren, I know Logano. We talked about Logano earlier, so I don't know. Let's see. Four wide racing at New Hampshire. What the hell, says Glenn Phillips? Yeah, so this, like I said, that's the best the racetrack has ever raced, in my opinion. Did you see Rick Allen making Dave Burns sing the Beatles song on the podcast? That was pretty funny. Clams are the same as lobster. Smaller is better in that case. Says Stephen Emilio Jr. I can't speak on that one. That is typically accurate. Dave Burns, I get by with a little help from my friends. Let's see. Repaving the groove was the trick, says Glenn Pillar. So yeah, that might have been what helped it out. Let's see. I wonder where Hocevar goes next year. I would love to see if he goes to JRM or somehow, or a good Xfinity team. I don't know if he is under contract or not. Yeah, so one of the rumors is he's a lot of people want to see him go to JRM. So we'll have to see what plays out there. Mark Langren, Stephen, have to strongly disagree. So Mark Langren likes the bigger clams there. Let's see. Has Harvick ever won at Pocono 29 or 4? I couldn't tell you that. I couldn't tell you that for sure. Let's see here. Hopefully the internet will hold up here. Looks like in 2020. He won it in 2020. It says finally victorious at Pocono. So yes, he has won. He has won at Pocono. Harvick has 2 wins at Pocono, I think, both in the 4 car. So yeah, it looks like both of them, I guess, were in 2020 or maybe 2020 and 2021. No rain deciding the finish with NASCAR. Yeah, thank goodness, Glenn Pillar. So thank goodness the rain held off. Maybe just one in 2020, says Napa Racing fan. So for sure, I know for sure he won one in 2020. I haven't seen anything else. And he was driving the Busch car. It was a navy blue Busch car. I can't tell what the special deal was with it, but it was navy blue with a white hood. So that's the car he got it done in. All right, so hang out here for a few more minutes if you guys got anything else you want to talk about. But it looks like we got to the end of the chat, so throw in your last questions. I'll hang out here for a minute. If you want to vote on the poll question is up. Who do you see making the playoffs? 30% right now between Gibbs, AJ Allmendinger, Alex Bowman, and Chase Elliott. So one of those 4 drivers is probably getting the vast majority of those votes. I'm betting it's Bowman and Chase Elliott. Suarez, though, at 28%, the first single driver. Michael McDowell, 23% is third, and Bubba Wallace, 19% is in fourth. So let's see. All right, one wise guy saying, "I'll see y'all tomorrow." And TJ, what's up, TJ? I want to go to my home track. I want my home track to go through a repavement, rename it New England Motor Speedway. Add 10 to 15 degrees of banking. Add some lights. Average New Hampshire race today. Always a good time here, though. So yeah, I think it was a good race too. A little bit of banking probably wouldn't hurt. The repave always going to make things good. A lot of grip everywhere for at least the short term. I think Harvick has the best chance to win. Is at Michigan in a couple of weeks, says Joshua Jenkins. Team Penske fan. I love your room. It's awesome. I see the Eric sponsored car. And are you going to get the NASCAR weekly podcast sponsored 78? I didn't get in early enough to get that one. So that one I don't have, but I do have one here. And I have the other. I bought 2 of them. The other one is in the other studio. So if you look in the background of the other studio, that one's actually out of the box. But I have them at both because I think what they did with sponsoring the car is really cool, especially when they made it to the Cup Series. So good on them. I'm glad to see YouTubers giving back to the sport. I thought that was a cool move by them. Mother Nature was bombing my house this morning at 5:30 with hail. No damage this time, says Mark Barnum. That's good, man. That's definitely good. Truex to the championship, says Glenn. Yeah, I got a new roof last year from Hale. No Porsche crest. There is a Porsche crest. There it is. There's the Porsche crest. Porsche crest is still there. So there you go. The Porsche crest has not moved. Just I guess the angle of the camera got moved at some point. All right, that looks like that's the end of it. So y'all take it easy. I will start working on the video for tomorrow. And until next time, peace.